after releasing what I did about the 12 tribes and the chosen, I wanted to dive more into the Indians and share more of their aspects. So we have the first one to talk about is going to be the Cherokee Indians. And this is one of the most often linked tribes to Israel in historical writings. Beliefs and practices resembling ancient Israel, one creator, ceremonial laws and cleansing rituals, bloodlines traced through the mother, and sacred festivals, and a form of Sabbath keeping. Many Cherokee believers today have returned to the Torah-based practices and the faith of Yeshua. The next one that we have is going to be the Hopi. So they are spiritually centered around purity, prophecy, and the return of a savior-like figure. The prophecy speaks of a coming true white brother who will return with spiritual knowledge and justice similar to Yeshua's return. And the Hopi teachings echo angelic and prophetic symbols. Next, we have the Navajo, and they're highly ceremonial people, strong emphasis on purity, cleansing, and community structure. They have traditions of tabernacle-like sacred spaces and rituals around life events. Their creation stories and prayer songs mirror Psalms of the Bible. And this is where hoodoo comes into play, okay? Because when you are intertwining your ancestral lineage with the Bible, that is hoodoo, okay? And also, when you are, if you believe in wise tales, if you believe in superstitions, that also is hoodoo, okay? The next tribe we have is the Zuni. Am I saying that right? Their migration myth speaks of people who traveled across a vast land in search of a sacred homeland. That would go with, the tribes leaving, crossing the mountains, right? That long journey. And echoes of Exodus-style journeys and tribal order appear in their oral history. Other tribes with possible connections is going to be the Lenape, and this is going to be in Delaware. Their ancient language includes words resembling Hebrew roots. The Ojibwe. Some groups use prayer, shawls, and elders have linked oral laws to Moses, like tradition. Oda Sioux believe in a creator who sent a prophetic or a messenger, and emphasis in covenant times. The next ones that I want to talk about is going to be the Choctaw. So this is kind of what triggered me diving into all of this to see if there's any connection to them being part of the lost tribes. So the Choctaw Nation is one of the oldest indigenous nations in what is now the southeastern United States, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. They were part of, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, language group closely tied to the Chickasaw Creek and others. They are deeply spiritual, and their oral traditions include belief in one great spirit, a creation story involving red clay and breath, laws passed down through tribal elders, cleanliness laws and ritual behaviors, emphasis on truth, balance, and moral living. So the parallels to the Hebrews, while not proof in modern academic sense, the following parallels have been noted by historians, missionaries, and indigenous scholars, okay? The Choctaw practices believe in one great spirit. The Hebrew is believing in God, okay? Sacred purification rituals, cleanliness laws, all right? Avoiding unclean, dietary laws, okay? Blood covenant ceremonies, ancient Hebrew blood covenants, use of prayer, song, and story, Psalms, Torah, and oral tradition, and moral law emphasis, truth, and justice. And then, so some scholars have claimed similar connections between the words with the Choctaw and the Hebrew, even though they're not direct translations, but they're strong echoes, okay? I'm not even going to try to pronounce these, so I'm just going to let you all look, all right? So the word here, it means spirit, and this is the connection. Okay, the Choctaw word means bear, and then I'll show you that in a minute. And then this is the Choctaw word, which means man, and then that's the Hebrew name. Just so you could see the Hebrew side of this. So a gentleman named James Adar in the 1700s, he was a trader who lived within the southeastern tribes for 40 years, claimed that many of their customs resembled ancient Israelites, including the Choctaw. He noted tribal government by the elders and the priest, cities of refuge, purity laws for women, use of fringed garments, okay? And he concluded that they were possibly descendants of the lost tribes of Israel, scattered long ago, possible by sea, prophetic and spiritual possibilities, even if genetic or linguistic links are debated. Gofton often works prophetically, calling people to return to him even if they don't remember their origin. So the Choctaw and the end times remnant, the Choctaw may be spiritually grafted in like Gentiles in Romans 11, okay, or they may be descendants of the scattered Ephraim, okay, the northern kingdom. Either way, their spiritual awakening aligns with, I will gather yet others to them besides those already gathered. And this is in Isaiah 56:8. Some Choctaw elders and Messianic believers now honor the Torah, keep feasts like Passover, and recognize Yeshua as the Messiah. So I truly found this fascinating and wanted to share with you guys that there is a lot of similarities when you start comparing the way they were set up, the way that they are, the way that they operate. And I encourage you to dive into it yourself, see what you find, and let me know. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it and to see, are the Native Americans part of the lost tribes, and did they migrate all the way over there to here? I don't know. I'm just finding a lot of information about here in the United States that actually goes more hand in hand with the Bible than what we realize. So anyway, I love you guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll let you know what else I find. Bye.